We're back. Welcome back, or if this is your first time listening, welcome to Grabbing the Bullhorn. I'm Natalie Bober.
I'm Karen Zimbler.
We're excited to have you here. Each week, we bring two generations together to talk about sports, events shaping the news, politics, and everything in between. We don't always agree, but we always have a conversation about it.
And also, just want to remind you, we are expressing our own opinions. We invite you to contact us, reach out. If you've got something to say about something that we've said, we want to hear from you.
And if you have any other comments, suggestions, please follow, subscribe, like. We want to hear from you. We want our listeners to be engaged. And we may not always agree, but that's what we're here for. We're here for a conversation. And today we have a very different podcast. We're doing something a little out of our comfort zone. And before we even start, we have not independently verified any of these articles or topics that we are talking about. This is our opinion.
We're passing along information that we've heard or read or listened to and bringing you into our discussion. And again, these are just our opinions.
And today we are going to talk about privacy. Have you ever been driving in your car, or have you ever been in a store and you look down on your phone and the first thing you see is an advertisement, a coupon, or something that you were thinking of buying, and all of a sudden it pops up?
You're getting ads for it on your phone, or your pal Alexa that's sitting on your dining room table or wherever it's at, and all of a sudden she just pipes in and starts talking, bringing up a conversation about something that you thought you were privately speaking to your friends or relatives about.
Or Siri, when you say something and then she chimes in and says, this is not, or I don't have an answer, right, or this is not something I know about. But Karen, you sent me an article regarding the flock cameras that have been around, that have been popping up in our neighborhoods. Right. I know people in our neighborhoods aren't happy.
We were talking about that in general, and all of a sudden I get this article sent to me. I got an email on my phone, and someone else is commenting, did you know that we're being tracked by cameras that are out on the street? Paraphrasing what it said. So I called you and I said, do you think this is real? Is somebody listening to me, or is this just a coincidence?
It could be both, because we know Siri always listens. But what my generation, at least, we grew up, I think my generation was the last generation that could enjoy being off the grid. I don't think Gen Z has had that experience. I think they're so used to being surveilled or watched.
They don't even think twice about it.
They don't think twice. They consent to having their biometrics used. They agree to these third parties.
Are they consenting to it? Do they even know that it's happening?
They probably don't, because they're so used to being surveilled. You go to Costco, you walk under the arches at Sam's Club. You don't even have to show the Sam's Club people your receipt anymore. You just walk under the arches. They know what you're buying. They know how much you've paid. They know what to send you. They know all sorts of information. And that's, for me, for being the last generation to be off the grid. I mean, when I was little, I enjoyed summers. I enjoyed going outside and not having a flock camera follow me. I used to be able to go into stores and show them a paper coupon.
You could shoplift at will. Nobody could see you or find what you were doing.
and we don't consent to that.
I'm not condoning shoplifting.
But you would not have a camera following you around at a store. People would not think twice. I mean, people people could go in the store, buy what they wanted without having the only person who knew what they were buying was the shopper, the person checking out, and that's it.
And I grew up with the privilege, I guess you would call it a privilege now, of nobody knowing where you were going, who you were talking to, what you were buying. I mean, we go out about our business and do things, and nobody would know what we were doing. And we liked it that way.
But step across the chasm to millennials and especially Gen Z to a 21-year-old, surveillance isn't an invasion. It's the default setting to the universe. Because of this, for many members of my generation and younger generations, our attitude toward privacy isn't necessarily anger. It's resignation. The algorithm already knows everything about me, everything about everyone anyways. Google has my face recognition and my bank has my face recognition. Meta has my chats. The government has my tax returns. Pearson VUE and Honor Lock have my handprint. Well, I mean, why should I care? Millennials and Gen Z don't value privacy any less. We just
I think they do. I think your generation does value it less. You go on TikTok filled with them. Oh, look what I'm eating. Look what I'm wearing. Look where I'm traveling to. Look at these shorts. Look at this makeup. I mean, it just baffles my mind that anybody is interested in that.
well, that's I agree with that because why would anyone? Why is anyone interested? I mean, yes, it's great if you take a picture of someone eating. I mean, if you're at a fancy restaurant, sure, take one picture. Why do we have to watch you eat an entire meal?
And that's also very aggravating to a lot of people. Why? What's your motivation in taking the picture to begin with?
And I
I
think
mean, do you think someone is really interested that number one, you're at the restaurant that you're at, or number two, that you're having steak and lobster for dinner? Or is it just that, oh, this is such pretty presentation, I'm going to share this with everyone?
I think that's part of it, but I also think when you say who cares, the restaurants know you're there. It's probably good publicity for them, but your car knows you're there, your phone knows you're there. Maybe the people you're in contact with don't know until you post something, but the government knows you're there. Everyone knows you're there.
So the people that you want to have know what you're doing
don't know what you're doing.
are the
But-
last people that find out what you're doing. The government and all these other agencies already know
Right.
what you're doing long before you post that picture of your hamburger.
or whatever else you're eating or wherever else you are, they already know. What does that say about our culture? Have we become a nation of consensual peeping toms?
Well, some people want that information about themselves out there. They have some kind of vicarious thrill that they're a foodie writing a critique for Yelp, and it's boosting their image, their self-worth. They think themselves more important, or maybe they just want to share, wow, this is such a good meal that I had. You guys ought to try this place too.
Would it be, but is it bragging? To what extent is it bragging? To what extent is it oversharing?
Well, isn't TMI the new catchphrase?
I would think so. Usually, at least when I was younger, TMI was just for things that you found disgusting, but now it's used
Now
for
it's everything.
everything. There's a whole section of food influencers on Instagram where all you do is watch these people eat. You watch these people order food. You watch them.
That's beyond me.
It's
I'm sure it's not their intention, but I mean, I'm laughing at this because who do 20-year-olds care? I guess they
I
must
guess
care what other people are eating, what their counterparts are eating. Me personally, I would probably run from what a 20-year-old is is eating.
I I mean one of the biggest influencers is Yes Chef, and he goes to all these fancy restaurants, orders food, does food reviews.
Mhm.
He has millions of followers. I I mean, yes, it's great watching him indulge in these excursions and these fancy foods that he gets to
Well,
try.
what was that show? Dives and Diners or so. So, I mean, that's entertaining. You're seeing all these different places. That that kind of serves a purpose. I don't know if I'm going to run out and drive cross country to go to find one of these diners, but it's kind of entertaining.
But that they showed you how they made the meals. They didn't show they maybe had one or two clips of people eating the meals, but they didn't have, oh, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to the newest thing is a mukbang.
A what?
A mukbang. That's what all these 21-year-olds and these Gen Zers appreciate, these mukbangs. They go to restaurants, and for everyone who doesn't know what a mukbang is is a large order of food. It's you, for instance,
Like
they're
ordering everything on the menu
pretty much the
for the purpose of?
eating it in front of a camera. That's you go to there are these videos. You go to In and Out, you order an In and Out mukbang. It's like a double double, a Flying Dutchman, animal style fries, and it's a spread. And people sit there and eat these mukbangs in front of the camera.
And what is their purpose? Are they like a Joey Chestnut type person doing the hot dog eating contest?
No,
Because they
some
want to see how much they can eat in one
no,
sitting?
some of these people just eat it. They don't even say anything. They just show themselves eating on camera.
Do you enjoy watching that?
No, I don't enjoy hearing them chew. And it's you see these people, and the only thing some of these mukbangs must cost hundreds of dollars because it's a spread. It's a whole.
So, following through with that thought, what are these people that are posting these videos gaining? What are they getting sponsored? Are they getting money that way? I'm going to In and Out and I'm going to eat your whole menu and I'm going to tag you in my video. So will you pay me for that?
I don't I don't think In and Out
I was
sponsored, right? But I think that
a
I think they
restaurant off
try.
the top of my.
I think they do it because they want followers. They want people to see what they're doing, how they live their lives. They are they don't care if people are watching them. They don't care if people are entering their homes, their cars, and watching their daily lives. They don't care. And it's I don't know with my generation, but for me, I would not want someone doing that.
So here we are talking, trying to figure out, at least I am, what is the attraction for all of these people, kids, posting the minutia of their private lives. Do they like the notoriety? Do they expect reimbursement from the people, places, businesses that they mention?
I think it's the notoriety. I think it's probably a combination of okay, I want to see how many followers I get. I want to become Instagram or TikTok famous, and it's a combination of I can make money this way. I mean, TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, they're all ways to become content creators, and that's the newest job these days. People, when you ask kids and you go to career day, you ask them what do you want to be when you grow up? YouTuber, influencer. They
Oh, we're going to have a lot to say about about that
And
in
that's
future,
that's a future episode.
episodes.
And I think it's a combination of both because it's a source of income, but it's also, can I up the next person? Can I, how many people will see me? How many people can I get to engage? And I think that's another thing Gen Z and maybe some of the younger millennials have a have a problem adjusting, or with this new, with technology evolving, what how do you connect? There is no more in-person connection. There are people.
Oh, the olden days when you would write letters and you'd have pen pals.
I just had someone tell me that they were talking to someone, and they said, "Look, I'll give you my email because I'm not ready to give you my phone number," as a friend of mine. And the person who they were talking to said, "I don't want a pen pal." And that struck me as
They want a
very
connection.
They want a
Yeah.
connection. They don't want a pen pal. And an online connection, yes, it may be for Gen Z, it may be the equivalent of an in-person connection because we went through COVID, we went through a period of isolation, but we're missing that human interaction. And that's something that I don't think Gen Z is completely used to. I mean, they have we were talking about this earlier. These AI friends or AI bots, one, they know everything you're doing. Two, they aren't real. They may seem real, but these AI bots are evolving. They know everything about you. They know where you're going. They know sensitive details about you, and they're replacing human interaction, and you don't know where the data is going.
So again, going back to what's the attraction? So from the viewer's standpoint, why are they so enthralled with these videos and posts? Do they feel they're entitled to know everybody's whereabouts, where they're coming, they're going? A perfect example of everything, Travis and Taylor Swift, the wedding has been all over the internet, and people want to know, what was her dress? How high were their heels? How, what color was it?
What did they serve?
Why does that make a difference to
It's
you?
unless you were invited to the wedding, it's none of your business. I mean, yes, Taylor Swift is one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
People, that's my point. These people think they're entitled to know everything about you.
And that's one of the things that bothers me most about this generation who feel entitled to know everything. We were not invited to the wedding. They were These people who were clearly upset were not invited. They weren't invited because it's a personal bit. It's their personal business. It's their friends. It's their occasion. It's their wedding. You shouldn't. Yes, being a fan is great. Wishing them best of luck in their new chapter of life is great.
Would it have been exciting for me to go to that wedding?
Of course.
Absolutely. But am I sitting here demanding that I know what their vows were, what they said to each other, who drank what, how many bars were set up, what was the color scheme?
And these people who are other influencers, they're complaining because they didn't get
access.
They didn't have access, but they didn't also get an invitation. They are not friends with, I mean, they may know Taylor, but it's her wish list. It's her guest list. It's who she wants. It's her money.
His too.
It's her money. And on top of everything, it's going back to this. It's their privacy. It's their event. We were lucky enough to know when they got married because
we didn't even have to know that.
They didn't even have to. They did not have to put just married or just TNT, whatever on MSG. Yeah. They didn't have to tell us, but that's what they were willing to share. And people who were upset about Taylor not
not
releasing,
knowing anything.
well, not releasing her wedding photos.
Yes.
It's their photos.
Maybe she will. Maybe they have a deal that they've signed with a magazine.
And
Maybe
again,
they don't.
again, these are not confirmed. We do not know.
Right.
We are just speculating.
Right. And these are our beliefs, our opinions.
But again, it goes back to the entitlement and is the trade-off privacy for other alleged benefits? Is it worth it?
Privacy, notoriety. Privacy,
I
notoriety.
I would rather have my privacy.
I would rather have my privacy.
And I don't
Or be in control of it at the very least.
I would like to know
Be
where
in
my
con-
dad is going.
Be in control of it. I'll tell you what I want to know. You're not entitled to know what I'm doing.
What I mean, is it convenience? Is it privacy versus convenience? Is it I mean, we were talking earlier before we started this podcast. When we bank, we use our face because we don't want to
Right.
we don't want to type in the password.
Well, that's my
Well, I don't want to
that
do it
might be
either.
that might be a boomer
I don't want to do it.
issue.
I can't remember
That I mean,
passwords.
I have set up face recognition on a lot of websites just so I don't have to be bothered with remembering a password.
And that's similar to me. I usually do facial recognition because one, anyone can know your password.
So there you go. That's convenience versus privacy. I am willing to forego some of aspects of my privacy for the convenience of not having to remember a password. And I get yelled at all the time. I probably shouldn't say this, but the passwords I use may be reused at different on multiple websites. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but
I mean that's convenience because you remember them and but the facial recognition there are a lot of sites that I use facial recognition because I can't even remember what passwords I use. I don't I don't reuse my passwords, but I can't remember any of them. I'm just lucky I remember what my phone password is. I I probably use facial recognition more than passwords, or I do the one-time code because I can't remember them.
So I also want, if we have time, I wanted to touch on this one thing that's basically hot off the presses, and forgive me, I'm going to be.
And this is going off the celebrity. I mean, yes. Going from Taylor Swift.
So we had, I don't know if you were aware of it or not, Prince Harry, England, has been involved in a lawsuit with some of the other plaintiffs include Elton John, Elizabeth Hurley, there's Prince Harry. And I'm just going to read from this so I don't get anything wrong. His lawsuit against the publisher of this newspaper in England. I don't know if we can mention it or not, so I won't. But he and the others are claiming that the newspaper used unlawful methods to gather private information for articles between the 1990s and 2011. He's claiming that personal voicemails were intercepted, his landline phones were tapped, his private home and cars were bugged, and they even obtained medical and personal records. He is maintaining all through illegal means. So this has been going on for years, and the decision finally came down yesterday, I think, and the High Court judge in England dismissed all claims, concluding there was not enough evidence to prove the information was obtained illegally. So that just opens up a whole can of worms. How do we protect our privacy? What do we have to do to protect ourselves? And how can a newspaper, knowing when we went to our last doctor's visit and what was discussed.
And who to contact to get those
How did they
records.
get that? How do you prove that that information was obtained illegally? It would seem to me if it's a private conversation between two people and all of a sudden it's being printed in a newspaper, how did they get that if not for questionable means?
And how do they get these details that have not been published or have not been discussed with in the public domain? How do they obtain that information? This sets a dangerous precedent. Yes, we have HIPAA, we have GIPA, we have BIPA in Illinois, and all of these things are supposed to protect our privacy. But if you have cases like the one in England and other judges are looking for something to base their opinion off of, what does that say about our privacy?
So the judge said they didn't prove that the information was obtained illegally. So we've got Prince Harry and the other plaintiffs in the lawsuit who were lucky enough to find out that their privacy was being invaded. But what about everyone else that doesn't have their so-called notoriety as the, you know, Prince Harry and all the celebrities? We have no idea how we're being tracked and what information is being gathered about us.
I want to stop you right now and ask a question. Yes, you, the listener, you're listening either in your car or on your headphones or on YouTube or on Instagram. Do you actually know when you're being tracked? Do you know that there are invisible tracking devices or tracking embedded in the apps that you may have used this morning or that are in your GPS location or in your GPS devices and they're selling them to a data broker? Do you feel a physical notification when you walk past something in a grocery store or something in a store that you've thought about or that you were thinking about buying? And an AI program instantly maps your face into a template or on someone else's face? No, you didn't, because modern surveillance relies entirely on asymmetry. The watchers see everything and the watched see nothing. You don't know when you're being tracked. You could go on websites and you may click do not track. However, you are still being tracked.
So let's say you do find out you're being tracked. And what's one of those ways that you can find out is you get this little message. Do you accept our cookies? Which I had no idea what that was. And I have become reticent to agree to all of these things that I really don't know anything about. So one time I just no, I clicked no, I do not accept. And guess what? I was still able to continue buying my whatever I'm buying, searching here, searching there. So does it make a difference
I
if you say I don't accept this?
well, there's some
Are
websites
they
that
honoring that request
I
or
don't.
do they do it anyway and you don't know?
All right, Karen, now this is one of our favorite segments.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We're going to do rapid fire. I'm going to ask Karen the questions and she is going to answer them. Question number one. If a failure or a future, excuse me, if a future algorithm can perfectly predict who a person will fall in love with based on their data, does this completely drain the magic out of being human?
No, because doesn't everybody want that aspect of personal touch? I mean, that's what every love song, every love story, every rom-com is based on, the human personal connection.
I mean, look at some of the best rom-coms. It's walking into a supermarket and bumping into someone or
Yeah, the meet cute.
yeah. Isn't that what Hallmark is?
Yeah.
Number two, when we can look up every single mistake, bad habit, or flaws of any public figure or local hero, Do you think our society will lose the capacity to look up to anyone?
No, because there's always going to be someone that sees someone else wearing the prettier dress, the better makeup, the more expensive shoes, the nicer purse, and they're always going to want
Something better.
something better, right? No one's ever satisfied with anything, I don't think.
If children spend most of their time talking to flawless, always available AI friends who know exactly what to say, do you ever think they'll have the patience or capacity to build a messy, real relationship with a human being?
Possibly. I can see it now with kids who throw a tantrum when they don't get their way. So never dealing with human beings and always being on their tablets.
You're gonna have a rude awakening when
They're
you
right.
get told no.
Yep.
You stated that you remembered a time when your medical history, your bank statements, and your home life were completely private. Now, the government and tech billionaires have it all. Why aren't younger people more outraged that their fundamental right to be left alone is completely gone?
Because they're used to having their lives being an open book. They don't know any different. They share everything, they read everything, they gather everything about everyone else.
And what intrusions on your privacy have bothered you the most?
Uh, Probably how the government is gathering our information and not knowing what they're doing with it. I mean, if Jewel wants information on what kind of green peppers I'm buying, fine, that's not the end of the world. But the government taking my personal private information to do with it what they please, yeah, that's bad.
Has loss of privacy affected your lifestyle?
Uh, that's funny. I'm gonna give a cop-out answer. I don't care. They can take whatever they want about me. I've got nothing to hide. Not a good answer, but
It's the reality.
that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
How do you feel about the fact that corporations are profiting from your personal data? Should they pay to use it?
Well, in a perfect world, yes, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Do you feel like you have control over who obtains your personal information and how they use it?
Well, yes, or no, especially after this discussion, we have no control.
I agree with that. Do Americans really understand the extent to which they have relinquished their privacy?
No. I had no idea up until we started our deep dive into this topic, just how much our privacy is being violated.
Is giving up our privacy too high a price to pay for any benefits that result?
It depends what the benefits are. No. Okay. Yes, we should be able to maintain our private world and be able to have that protection.
Has our increasing disregard for privacy affected other values?
Um, it's hard from me. No, maybe not, because I'm used to having my privacy and not dealing with everybody looking over my shoulder. Maybe that might be stupidity, naivete, but you guys and younger, I think are going to have a bigger problem.
Now let's turn this around. By podcasting and by us posting on social media, and we know what you'll probably say. We did this to ourselves and we're out there.
Yeah.
But aren't we relinquishing our privacy?
Case in point, us doing this. Yes, we are. Nobody knew who we are before this, and now they know us because of this, and they're gonna, if they choose, they can,
Follow us.
or they can investigate it, they can look us up, they can research us. So, yeah, maybe we've contributed to creating this monster.
Do you think we can ever take control of our private lives?
Uh, yes, if we want to put in the effort, give up our phones, give up our electronic
Go
devices,
off the grid.
go off the grid, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Instagram. That might help. I don't think we will ever be, unless we move to a cave in Idaho.
Well, there was that man during COVID who was in the forest, didn't have any technology, came back, saw everyone wearing masks, and didn't know that COVID was happening. That could be
Yeah,
do we still have the right to be unknown?
yes.
I think we were
I mean, is
unknown.
that in the Constitution? It should be. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and being
Right to be
private
unknown.
and the unknown.
Do we still have the right to be left alone?
Yes, yes.
I think we do. Just leave us alone. And that brings us back to the core issue of our whole podcast. When society stops treating privacy as a fundamental, non-negotiable right, what actually happens to us?
Well, we know the conversation about privacy is difficult, but we hope you'll join us and give us some feedback. Let us know your thoughts.
And one question we're going to ask before we wrap up, what do you, the listener, thinks the future of privacy will be? Do you think we'll have more privacy? Do you think we'll have less? What do you think the future of AI will look like? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, and share the podcast and listen to wherever you get your podcast. And we thank you for joining Grabbing the Bullhorn. We look forward to seeing you next week. Let's grab the bullhorn.